There is a guitar in this backpack. It's a travel acoustic guitar called Little Jane, which can be assembled in roughly 30 seconds, and its dimensions mean it can be taken anywhere, including in aircraft cabins and motorcycle saddlebags. And while it makes a great small body acoustic for the studio, allowing me to live out my dream of being Ronan Keating in private, this is designed to travel. Testing it out in any other way would be missing out on what this is made for. So travel I must, around Scotland to see what this beautiful country can offer, and Little Jane will be with me every step of the way. And what better place to start than a 15th century castle that's an easy walking distance from my house. As I find a spot in the shaded woodland, by the river, in the shadow of Roslin Castle, a few questions about the mechanism that allow Little Jane to set up and break down in under 30 seconds came to my mind. How does it work? How reliable is it? And does it stay in tune? Little Jane employs a simple metal latch to secure the neck to the body. The hook of the latch engages with a metal plate on the neck heel. Locking the latch secures the neck to the body, while the string tension pulls the neck into the bottom of the socket, preventing it from going anywhere. It's a deceptively simple solution which uses the tensioning forces already present in the guitar to do half the work, minimising the need for a complicated, over-engineered solution that would be slower to implement. This is one guitar that absolutely necessitates locking tuners. With the neck off the guitar, all the string tension is lost. If it weren't for the pins inside the tuning posts locking the strings in position, they'd all pop off the tuners every time the neck was dismantled. Little Jane also has this special nut that has holes rather than slots. Feeding the strings through this nut maintains proper string alignment as the neck comes on and off. And what about tuning stability? Well, this Little Jane is currently in tune. Let me dismantle the neck completely and then put it back together and hear how it sounds. It's pretty much still in tune. There's been a little bit of movement, of course, but no more than you'd expect from putting any other acoustic guitar away in its case for a while. Guitarists are well accustomed to tweaking the tuning of their instruments when they first pick it up, and this is no different than any other guitar in that capacity. Time to give Little Jane some altitude. The next stop on my tour is the Lowther Hills, the home of Scotland's highest village. At over 1,500 feet above sea level, if the air is clear, we should have some impressive vistas to visit.
Ah, for fuck's sake. Travelling in Scotland with an acoustic guitar in this weather. I think we can do better.
Leaving the rain behind, I arrived in possibly the most culturally inspirational city in Europe. Vienna has a deep heritage of art and music, being the home of many of the great classical composers: Mozart, Beethoven, Brahms, Schubert and Strauss, to name a few. Little Jane travelled with me, the dimensions of the backpack qualifying the guitar as a personal item which could be safely stowed under the aeroplane seat at no extra cost. As I navigated my way through the public transport system and looked up in amazement at the grand architecture, presenting a smile to camera while my ill-equipped Scottish genetics battled the morning heat, there was one place I knew I had to get to. The deep, beautiful blue that inspired the waltz. I would play Little Jane by the Danube.
All right, this thing rolling? Good. It's not very stable, but I think we'll be okay. Right. We've got the Danube, we've got the bridge, we've got the cathedral. This is going to look great. Right. Get it out the bag. There we are. Slides in. Nice and easy. We clip it to the body. Nice easy clip. Perfect, right. Now, if I just get this on the strap, get ready to play before anyone comes along and ruins my shot. At least this is nice and fast. Guerrilla recording, okay. Am I in frame? I think so. Okay, we're ready to go, ready to go. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, right, oh, here we are. God, this filming on your own thing just doesn't really work. I'm not really feeling it. I need a cameraman.
Hello. A holiday, you say? Colin,
Scoosh!
what are we shooting?
With a second trusted set of hands holding the camera, Scoosh was able to realise my vision of dynamically capturing Little Jane being played by the river. Although with my skill set, my performance could hardly be considered a century-spanning opus in the same league as Strauss. As more people started to wander along and sit by the riverbank to enjoy the sun, we decided we'd overstayed our welcome and packed down the guitar. This is where Little Jane really shows its advantage, collapsing into its backpack and walking off inside 30 seconds. This allowed us to get in and out of these populated areas before anyone had time to become annoyed with our social media influencer antics. And on we went, spotting a new location, setting up again, and living out the enjoyment of playing guitar in places we normally wouldn't get the chance. Music is a shared experience. It's one of humanity's oldest social traditions. With a guitar in a backpack that can be taken just about anywhere, sharing music with friends and strangers alike becomes effortless. With the afternoon weather starting to break, we closed out the day by exploring Vienna's Natural History Museum, with the Hall of Dinosaurs featuring all your favourite prehistoric creatures. This afforded me the joy of boring Scoosh half to death with my endless facts on paleontology, and critiquing the museum's living allosaur mount for having pronated hands. The speed and reliability of the latching mechanism and the relatively stable tuning facilitated us hitting a few heavily populated spots around Vienna the following day. Despite the compact size of the body, Little Jane is a full-scale acoustic guitar, measuring in at a 615mm or 24-inch scale length, by no means unheard of in the world of acoustic guitar. You might expect the reduced body size to come at the cost of volume, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Mine has the solid spruce soundboard, and its projection could easily rival larger instruments, with a tone that is bright and focused, the kind you'd expect from any smaller body or parlour-sized acoustic guitar. Lacking the extended low end of larger, concert-sized bodies, this Little Jane is tonally perfect for more intimate environments and extremely suitable for studio work, where all those low frequencies from a larger body would get in the way of a mix. Furch have somehow managed to ensure Little Jane still sounds like a high-end, small-bodied acoustic guitar, despite all the accommodations made to make it a travel instrument. It offers convenience with very little compromise, and I couldn't imagine travelling in Europe with an easier guitar. Could do with a drink.
Could do with a drink.
If only there was somewhere around here we could get
Find
a
a
beer,
drink.
perhaps.
I know, something just like...
It'd be a shame if we couldn't find a bar some. Oh my goodness, well that one's good.
Would you look at this?
Oh, the alcohol is here.
So what did you think of that guitar, Scoosh?
Compact, versatile. But how would you build such a thing?
To answer Scoosh's question, we travelled to the Czech Republic to see the factory in which Little Jane is made. This is Furch Guitars, where skilled human luthiers and high-tech robots work side by side all through the production line. The machines lifting the burden of labour-intensive, monotonous tasks off the shoulders of the biological workforce, who can then dedicate their time to the fine precision details that machines have no awareness of. We met up with the man in charge, Peter Furch, son of the company's founder and the brain behind many of the technological innovations and unique engineering solutions found in the factory and the guitars. I wanted to know why a company known for their expensive high-end acoustics would even consider making a collapsible travel guitar.
Well, it's my father's idea. He is a Harley-Davidson enthusiast. He likes to ride bikes. So he first designed the body shape. So this size of the Little Jane, it was designed to fit into Harley-Davidson like a side bag. The neck was a trouble for us. The neck is actually longer than the body, so we had to split neck into two pieces. That's why it's Little J now is like a two-piece neck. And you fit it inside, because in the Harley-Davidson side case, you don't have much space. You know, people reacted really great when they saw how you taking out parts of the guitar, putting it somehow together, and suddenly you have a music there. Sitting in a local pub with my father, we were having beer together, and we started to talk about a prototype of Little Jane back then, and we said, well, it really works. It sounds great, let's bring it to the market.
The detachable neck proved to be quite the engineering challenge in the development of Little Jane. To make a robust travel guitar, considerable time needed to be spent on ensuring the collapsible mechanisms were both reliable and easy to use.
First we had screws, so you had to hold the Little Jane neck and body together, and then you had to screw in these pieces together. It was quite challenging. Maybe in year one we have developed this hook and the lever, and this one little piece had also like maybe 3 different versions over years, but we were mainly improving the reliability of that piece of metal. I think other than that, we were focusing on reinforcing the areas on the side, somewhere on the body, where we have over years collected information from the service department and from our customers. A good example is basically the window in the side of the guitar where you fit in the neck. Maybe in the first generation we didn't have any reinforcement whatsoever. So we put a fiberglass reinforcement which is there till today. I would say more than 30 small improvements here and there were happening over 10 years on the Little Jane.
Despite all these improvements to increase reliability and ease of use, we're still dealing with a small body and a removable neck, which surely must be compromising the sound compared to a more traditional acoustic guitar construction.
Now, speaking as an engineer, of course it does. The guitar is smaller. It doesn't support huge wavelengths to be strengthened in that small body. You have some elements especially for the holding of the neck inside, which are basically in the way and reducing a little bit of the volume of that physical space. These things are there. It's a sort of like a compromise, but if you look how big sound we are able to produce out of this small space which a Little Jane body occupies, I think this doesn't what I said before doesn't matter anymore, because in that comparison it's mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing is quite the claim. So what are Furch doing to ensure Little Jane sounds this good despite all the concessions made to the travel concept?
Well, voicing is one thing. We are doing the voicing on the top of Little Jane, so we are picking each piece of wood suited for the top board, and we let it go through the process of measurements and adjusting the thickness on the different areas of the top board of the Little Jane. So we are maximizing the acoustic performance. You can see open pore finish on the Little Jane, but still underneath is our resonance enhancing finish material, which is the UV coating, which is very hard, which is helping our guitars to resonate a little bit differently, a little bit better. So these are like a small steps how we have been able to make the Little Jane sound as it does.
So is Little Jane just a gimmick? And can Furch really justify the heavy price tag for a travel guitar?
It was challenged at the beginning because everybody thought, it should cost less. But once they strum it, then they can recognize, okay, this is serious guitar, it's not a toy guitar, so now I get it. And once we get the idea out there and this experience out there with more and more pieces of Little Jane produced over years, then of course it starts to catch up and snowball, sort of. I think it's actually only a real travel guitar and a real guitar at the same time. I haven't seen on the market any product which is really good in both of those functions.
And with no more questions left to ask, it's time to take Little Jane back to Scotland. What summary can I give you then of my time with Little Jane? Let's start off with the claims of portability. This backpack travels exceptionally well. There is no way to know from the outside that this contains an acoustic guitar. To the general civilian, this is no different from any other backpack, and it allows you to move through populated areas fairly incognito, and it's not going to raise any eyebrows. That fact makes it incredibly practical for flying. There were no direct flights between Glasgow and Vienna. We connected through Frankfurt, which means that travelling there and back again was 4 different flights, all of them operated by Lufthansa. Lufthansa allow 1 piece of cabin luggage and 1 personal item. I travelled with my camera bag, which is the maximum dimensions allowed for cabin luggage, and went in the overhead storage. And because it looks like a normal backpack, Little Jane went on all 4 flights as a personal item, and I was able to slide it under the seat in front. On 3 of those flights, because I was wearing Little Jane on my back, gate crew didn't say a word about it. Scanned my boarding pass and on I went. The flight attendants on the plane didn't question it either. As far as they were concerned, it was just a normal backpack. The 4th and final flight, however, I was stopped by gate crew and was told, "You've got too many bags, you need to check one of those bags." And I politely explained that the brown bag qualified as a personal item and had been on 3 other Lufthansa operated flights as a personal item. She then directed me towards the metal box on the floor. "Personal items need to fit within the metal box, yours is too big." And then I put Little Jane into the metal box, it fit perfectly, and the lady was like, "Okay, get on the plane." But to be fair to that member of gate crew, immediately before I went through the gate, she was dealing with an exceptionally difficult group of passengers who all had far too many bags, and they were lying to her regarding to whom each bag belonged. So I can completely understand that while she was still dealing with this party of arseholes, that I walked through with 2 bags and she went, "I've got to challenge this or I'll lose all authority." So from my experience, most of the time, no one in an airport is even going to question this. It didn't even get stopped at security. On the rare occasion that a member of gate crew is having a bad day and wants to challenge you on it, just be polite, explain the situation, and offer to demonstrate that this does indeed meet the dimensions of a personal item. And of course, check to make sure your airline allows personal items on your ticket. If not, this will go on as carry-on luggage. As for the guitar itself, the latching hook mechanism that holds it all together is very quick and easy to use, and the internal structures that hold the neck in transit are simple to locate, once you've done it 1 or 2 times. Here's a clip of Scoosh trying to take it apart for the first time without any instruction on how to do it.
Idiot proof, I'm sure. So we take this off carefully. Is it latch on? The latch is on.
This is the hardest bit until you figure out how that latch works.
Okay, so I know the latch needs to lift up, but how does the latch lift
Try
up?
pushing the neck back towards the latch.
Aha.
And then it lifts off really easily. Yep.
Right, fair enough. And then that, just like that, it attaches.
You're missing it entirely.
Yes, so.
Try looking through the sound hole.
That would. Right.
You see it?
Yeah, there's a thing. There is a thing. Just like that. No bother.
And that's not me throwing Scoosh under the bus either. I made exactly the same mistake the first time I tried to dismantle one of these guitars under pressure in front of a camera with no instruction. 3, 2, 1, go. Right, okay, that's... Oh yeah, bass, come out. You've had practice at that clip, I tell you. Oh, it was easier than I thought. I was overthinking it. Come out, you... Right. No! Hold up! It's in the bag! I think you might... He's doing literally a victory lap. But once you've had a wee bit of practice putting Little Jane together, it becomes incredibly fast and intuitive, and the strength of that latch is nothing to worry about. String tension wants to pull the neck down and forward, and closing the latch pulls the neck into the socket, preventing the neck from pitching forward. It's doing the same job as the wood screws on the neck heel of a Stratocaster, and it's just as robust and reliable a connection. In terms of sounds, this is just incredible. I'm willing to admit that when I first heard about Little Jane, I was incredibly sceptical. A travel acoustic where the neck comes off and it's selling for €1,500? What the fuck have you guys been smoking? But after trying one, like Peter said, just strumming a big open G chord convinced me that this does sound like a high-end acoustic guitar, despite all of the compromises made to make it a travel instrument. I'm a big fan of the sound you get from parlour or smaller sized acoustic guitars. I've never really got along with the giant dreadnought tone, so this size of body has the sounds and the practicality that make it hugely advantageous for working in a small studio. If you were looking at Little Jane to be your exclusively in-a-studio acoustic that's not going to travel, I'd recommend instead going for Furch's Pioneer model. It's the same body size, the same wood options as the Little Jane, but with a traditional acoustic guitar neck on it. It gives you access to Furch's CNR active neck reinforcement, protecting the guitar against humidity changes in the long term. You also get the lower cutaway, and it's cheaper since it's constructed using Furch standard technology and doesn't have a neck that breaks apart into two pieces. We got a chance to try one of the cedar top Pioneers while in Furch's showroom, and it sounds unbelievably good, even better than Little Jane, and I kinda wish I had one of those too. This video has gone on long enough. If any of this has convinced you to give Little Jane or any of Furch Guitars a closer look, you'll find relevant links in the video description and the pinned comment. And also a huge thanks to Scoosh for travelling out to Austria and the Czech Republic with me, filming everything and also lending me his fingers to play much better acoustic guitar than I ever could. I could not have done this without him. I'm going to leave you with some more studio recordings of Little Jane. So until next time, keep it loud and stay safe.